and it'll help you later on.
Yeah, that's right.
So, let's just have a chat about what you've done.
Yeah, right, okay. Right, well, I've been training with LDC. I've had about 25 hours lessons. Yeah. And I took my first test, because what it is, my 2 years are up in May, on May the 20th, so I had a break in between, so I had to have a back operation, so I couldn't do anything for a while.
So your 2 years are up this May?
This May, yeah. So that's why I booked one. The first one I could get after I failed the last one was the 19th of April. So I thought, if anything happens to that, I've still got a bit of time, because you can, as long as you book it, isn't it, before?
Yeah, as long as you book it a day before your 2 years are up.
Yeah.
Then they will give you another one.
Yeah.
But they won't give you a lot of choice. You'll have to take the first one available.
Yeah. Well, it's quite a waiting list at Loughton. But I had my last lessons in October, and he told me to put in for my test at the end of October, but I didn't think I was ready. And so I took the 2 kids out. They had a month each. And by taking them out, I knew I wasn't ready.
Yeah. So, you got quite a reasonable score, didn't you?
I got 3-4. Yeah,
so
I've got the paper.
Yeah, so you weren't miles off then?
No, so what happened, I've got PST 7. What happened when he said my brief was really good. He said I knew everything I had to do on the brief. But what happened, we came out, do you know Loughton Test Centre at all?
I've been there once for a normal driving test years ago.
Because it's right on the high road, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we came out the high road.
It's a very tight car park, isn't it? You have to go through a very tight entrance into the car park.
Yeah. Because he was fine getting out, because it's all emerging getting out. But as he emerged onto the high road, we turned left and it was first right. And of course it was really busy, and so I was saying check your mirrors, and he went like that, sort of like that. And I was just getting. So by the time I got him to check the mirrors, we was on top of the turning, and I hadn't told him to signal, and it all went wrong. And then when we got in the turning, it was a tight turning, so when we got round the corner, I did say something to him, but I can't remember now what I said. But I should have pulled him over and gone through the mirrors with him. And then, but I needed to control because he was going a bit too fast, and he kept going too fast around. So it was all over before it started. Cause
I would actually show you how to control it. It's obviously you need to control it.
Yeah.
So you can educate him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what I was doing is trying to do it in, the order, the MSPSL, like mirror, signal, move. But I probably should have told him to cover the brake first to reduce.
Yeah, it's the big trick with controlling them is, let's say the subject is pedestrian crossings, is identification. If you keep talking about identification, if it's phase 1, you'd be telling. If you look well ahead, Bob, you can see the pollution beacons.
Yeah.
That tells us a zebra crossing there. We can see the zigzags. If you talk about identification, they'll back off a little bit with the speed, yeah? If you're not talking about it, if there's nobody at the crossing, as they get nearer, they're going to floor it, yeah? And you're going to say, we should have slowed down for that crossing. Oh, what crossing? Yeah? So, we're working that today.
Yeah.
And we'll get that sorted. So, I'll have a run through with you here. Don't get too carried away with the brief, yeah? It's a brief outline.
Yeah.
And as you can see there, the brief's been marked satisfactory.
Yeah, he said that was all right. He said that was good. My brief was really good. He said I knew everything I had to do, but I didn't do it on the road. Yeah,
so the brief's marked satisfactory. The brief could be marked unsatisfactory.
Yeah. You can...
and you'll pass.
Yeah.
If the rest of them are satisfactory, yeah? So it's a brief outline. It's what you cover on the move that's important. Anything you say on the brief goes out the window when the engine starts anyway, yeah?
Because we only actually did seven junctions. There was 4 right turns and 3 left. But see, the first right turn, you couldn't have stopped to pick up a reference point on that one because it was a high road.
Yeah.
The next right turn was like a staggered crossing, so you had the square in the middle. What do they call the...
Yeah, so you approach the junctions, turn left and right. That's major to minor, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, so that was just on a staggered junction, so we got through that one. But as we got through that one, you sort of sped up, and there was a turning on the right-hand side, about 100 feet.
So was it the reference point for the left descent you had a problem with?
Yeah, see, because as we come through the staggered junction, the next right turn was about 100 feet from it, and I was trying to keep his speed down. He was going a bit fast. Then I could see he was over the line, so I told him to go steer to the left, and he went miles too much to the left. Then he steered back to the right again, and he still wasn't quite straight. Then anyway, we got round the corner, I pulled him over, and I explained to him in the book, and I said, well, we'll pick it up, pick out the reference points the next time. And he said in the debrief,
Yeah,
said
so
you
you
never
know,
did.
you know when you say steer to the right, steer to the left.
Yeah.
I
didn't tell him how much by.
Yeah.
So he
and,
overdone it.
And
like
there'd be
that.
no good saying on the move, steer 5 minutes to you, 10 minutes to me, because you haven't consolidated
No,
that, yeah?
that's right. Yeah, I didn't do any of that.
So it's always a good idea, just at the end of the brief, just to consolidate that he knows at the face of the clock that, 5 minutes is that much,
Yeah.
10 minutes is that much. But
Is that on every PST? Do you think you should do that? Really?
Well, there's no harm just consolidating because you've agreed it then, yeah?
Yeah.
But if you don't give a specific and say, steer to you,
Yeah.
he'll put full lock on, won't he? Steer back to me, he'll put full lock on again. And obviously you must come in at the end with straighten up.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But I'll show you all them tricks today,
It
yeah?
just all happened so quick, and it was. Oh, and then there was a car coming towards. I got him to stop. Then there was cars parked in the new road, so you couldn't pick up a right-hand turn anyway. But you couldn't pick up a reference point. There's too many cars coming. And then the next right-hand turn, I was going to pick up a reference point, but there was a car parked right opposite the junction, so we had to go over the line anyway.
Yeah.
And,
so
and then it was all over by then.
So did you make any links on the brief with what you'd done previously?
Well, I spoke about emerging, but I didn't pick up any. So thinking about it afterwards, I could have picked up the reference points from emerging to.
Yeah. So they
his
won't.
point of turn.
They won't. They won't. Yeah, they will tell you on the brief. If you ask him, have you ever used the mirror signal position speed
Yeah,
lock
I went all
routine?
through that with him on the brief. Yeah,
And
you've done all that. But
Yeah, he'll say, and you say to him, if you're turning left, what mirrors did you check?
Yeah.
Oh, I checked the middle one, I checked the left one, yeah?
Yeah.
And, when did you signal? Oh, I signalled between 6 and 8 car lengths. And, what kind of speed did you come in at? Yeah, he will give you all the right answers there.
Yeah.
But they need to see you, because they've never met you before, even though they have done the mirror signal and in some cases the position before, they won't do it until they hear you tell them the what, why, how on each of them once, yeah? And then after that, what you need to do then is, once you give them the what, why, how on, let's say, why you need to check the interior mirror and the left-hand door mirror on approach to the junction, because it would be the same as what you've done on the emerge, just give them a prompt. And what mirror is he going to check here? And then just keep your eye on him and make sure he does it, yeah?
So you don't have to keep telling him all the way through. You can ask.
No.
Just tell him the first.
Yeah, I mean, years ago, it wouldn't have been a problem. You couldn't over-instruct on phase 1. But now what they're looking for is
Bit of checking knowledge or something.
checking what learning's taking place. But he would already have known this, and once he hears you talk through, you're checking the middle mirror for distance and speed.
Yeah.
You're checking the left mirror to make sure there's no cyclist there.
Yeah.
If there was, you wouldn't let them go. You would let them go, and you wouldn't signal because you'd frighten them. But if you turn in front of them, you're going to squash them.
Yeah.
And then what you need to do on the next one is say, whatever his name is, right, Bob, what mirror is he going to check?
Was Tony as well.
Was he?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, just Tony what?
Curran.
No.
Oh, sorry. Crossland, sorry.
All right. Yeah, so on the next one you say to him, what mirror is he going to check? Yeah, we're going to turn left. What mirror is he going to check? Oh, middle mirror.
Yeah.
Just watch him. And then say, what mirror are you going to check now? Oh, the left door mirror. Watch him again, yeah? Because once they know you're watching them, then they tend to back off. So you now know that he's happy with that, because otherwise he wouldn't have given you the right answers. So then you can prompt them on, give them the what, why, how on the signal. We're going to signal now. This is about 6 to 8 car lengths away. The reason why we're signalling 6 to 8 car lengths away is to give people time to react. And it's not cast in stone. There is occasions where we may have to signal later, i.e. if there's a turning before the one we're going to take, because the consequences would be if there's a car waiting to emerge from that turning, they could actually pull out in front of us and hit us, yeah?
Yeah.
So you have actually covered it then. So on the next one, well, what mirror is he going to check? Just keep an eye on him. And where are you going to signal? Oh yeah, I'm going to signal now. And just a little prompt, just take a little bit further. And why are you going to signal now? Oh yeah, I've got to give people time to react. So then, basically, what it comes down to in the end is that what they want to see you teach is how to turn left and right.
Yeah.
Yeah? That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah? So you get all the bits that he's done before out of the way as quick as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've done the right thing pulling them over. Don't be frightened of pulling them over. I wouldn't be pulling them over for no reason, just because he's got the mirrors in the wrong order or something, yeah? Because that can be covered on the move. But once you've made the turning, then on the drive around to the next turning, you've got time to fill in them blanks and say, yeah, Tony, the reason why we're checking the middle mirror and the reason why we're checking the left mirror and the consequence of not checking them.
That's what he said on the debrief. He said you kept punching the mirrors, and he said you never remedied it or told me why.
Yeah. It's a bit like doing a parafashion, isn't it? Yeah. Check the middle mirror. Check the left mirror.
Yeah. See, the very first one, I was watching him, but he wasn't doing. He was sort of like going like that, and I thought, what's he doing with his head? Then I should have, because he was sort of like going like that and like that and like that. Then.
Yeah. I mean,
and
it's
so straight away sort of set me up. I thought, oh, crikey.
Yeah. They're not actually playing you up. They're just basically, they're role playing a student. Because if you say to a student, check the middle mirror, check the left mirror, and you never give a reason why, and you never give the consequences of not. Well, they're not going to learn from it, are they?
No, that's right. Yeah.
They might do it because you're telling them when you're sitting next to them. But what are they going to do after they pass the driving test? They're not going to do it.
Yeah.
So, do you want to run over this left and right hand turns first?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And
he got me on the coasting as well because he said, because I heard him in the room. He said, because he coasted round the corner. And as he came around the car, I went, and I said, did you have your foot on the clutch? And he said, no. And I heard him saying to the woman, you should never ask if you've got the foot on the clutch. He said she didn't know what it was. So.
Yeah. So what? I mean, coasting is not a big red area. Yeah, providing he doesn't.
But along with all the others as
well. When we're coasting, he probably gave you a lifeline, didn't he? Did he rev the engine?
He revved it, yeah.
So he's revving the engine, he's doing it.
Yeah, but see, he didn't click that that's what he was doing. But I said to him, have you got the clutch down? But I heard him saying I shouldn't have asked him. I should have said, you know, but...
Yeah, so, as you approach the corner, as I say, you want to be talking about how we're going to identify left and right-hand turns.
Yeah.
And you might not be taking that turn, but say, look, Tony, there's a gap on the right there. We can see the gap between the houses. We can see the road markings. That's the turning to the right. And just down the road there on the left, we can see another turning. You're talking about identification, which is education for him, yeah? So he will play along with that because he can see that you're actually working hard at it, yeah? If you don't say nothing, then it's a bit like you taking him for a taxi drive, really, isn't it?
Well, I was saying that we're looking out for these left and right hand turns, but I wasn't saying about any gaps in houses or anything.
Yeah, to begin with, you got to remember the scenario is he's never done left and right hand turns, yeah? So there's no good saying we're looking out for left and right hand. You're looking out for left and right hand turns. So you need to talk out loud.
Yeah.
As you get near the end of the, as you've done about half a dozen or so, you can actually slip in a prompt and say, so how do we recognise these turnings then, yeah?
Yeah.
But to begin with, it's a bit like you have to put money in the bank to take money out.
Yeah.
Yeah? So there's no good trying to take money out if you're overdrawn. So you've got to put money in there. That means give education first, and then you can start drawing on it. And you can prompt. Yeah? And if you don't get the right answer on the prompt, then you probably know, oh, I've missed out something here. It's probably going to be one of the core comps. It's going to be the what, why, or how, yeah? You might have told them what to do, and you might even have told them how to do it, but have you told them the consequence of not doing it? Yeah? But, for the amount, you're 25 hours on it, didn't you?
Yeah, 25 hours,
yeah. I mean, you made a really good stab at it there.
Yes, I know when I took because I didn't think I was ready, and then I took the kids out, and then I knew I wasn't ready.
Well, you took your own?
I didn't have dual controls, and there's only so many times I said stop. I said shooting over the giveaway. Oh crikey, yeah, that's a different ball going taking them out. But as they progressed and got on to sort of more phase 2, it was a bit better.
So did you take the test in your own car? Or?
Yeah, I took it in that. Yeah.
Well, the LDC not go with you on testing?
No, they don't ever ring you. I spoke to them, the actual company spoke to them about twice, but they don't, on the lessons I had, they don't do any of this, like what you've been talking about. You just go out and as I tried to pick up, I've been watching Blaine's videos, tried to pick up some reference points once. He said, well, I can see what you're trying to do, and I have it. they just say you see the reference point in the book, like for right turn, say, and just say you just show them in the book, but it's totally different. And I need a bit more sort of going over it, so I can get stuck in there, Because
let's just have a look at the one for PST7 now. It's been a while since I've seen an LDC book.
Page 23. And the left is on the other page.
It's a bit complicated looking, isn't it? Have you ever seen a plain one?
Yeah, sort of on the video I can see it there.
Yeah, for £19.99, all you have to do is download it, and obviously you've got to put it in one of these folders yourself, yeah. But for £19.90 is brilliant, yeah. Let me just show you how easy it is. Right, so there's PST7 turning left and right. So we go over and we'll look at the turning left first, yeah. So the first question you'd ask the examiner, because you can never assume, have you ever used the mirror signal position speed look routine before, yeah? The answer is going to be yes, because they will have had to use it, because how can you get to the left and right hand turns if you can't emerge, yeah? So they will be able to cope with emerging, and they will be able to cope with crossroads. So what you say to them is, when you were turning left on your emerges last week, what mirrors did you check? He's probably going to give you the right answer, middle and left, yeah? No need to go into the detail about why you were checking at this stage. When did you signal? Blah, blah, blah. What position did you take for a left-hand turn? Oh, normal position. What was your speed? Oh, he had me doing 2 speeds. If it was a blind junction, I was coming up at walking pace and slipping into first gear. If it was an open turning, I was coming up at jogging pace and keeping it in second. Yeah? And then just go straight to talking about the look routine, yeah? Yes, when you came to the emerges last week, what was your instructor teaching you? Oh, I had to, look both ways, yeah? And on this one, it's very important we look into the road, yeah? You got a picture of a pink elephant on the unicycle there. That just means anything could be in the new road, yeah? It's all really, really important on left and right hand turns that you talk about pedestrians, yeah? Because pedestrians, to get from there to there, are not going to walk down the road to get to there, yeah? They're going to do it at the junction, yeah? So if there is a pedestrian standing on the corner, providing they haven't got a foot on the road, we will proceed with caution, yeah? If they step onto the road, we'll stop, yeah? And we wouldn't beckon them across, yeah? So if you get all this information in, then that's what they're looking for, yeah? So on approach, you're going to be talking about identification. The next thing you need to come in with then is the full talk through on the initial couple of ones, yeah? And if you think about it, we're going to be putting the signal on, let's say 6-7 car lengths away. So you're going to need to start talking about the approach to the left-hand turn, probably about 12 car lengths away, yeah? Because you need time to say to them, check the middle mirror, and they're not always going to do it.
No.
But once you've given the command of check the middle mirror, don't take your eye off him until he checks it. If he doesn't check it, come on, check, yeah? And then most people, I find, will then say, now check the left mirror, and they take their eye off him, yeah? And he doesn't check the left mirror, yeah? Now, you don't need to give an explanation on approach of why he's checking the mirrors, because what you need to do is make sure he gets around that corner safely, yeah? Cover the brake, squeeze the brake, thickness of a pound coin, another thickness of a pound coin. We want to get the speed down to, if it's a turning you can see into, about 10 mile an hour. We're going to get second gear and say clutch up, yeah? Otherwise you will coast around the corner. And just before we turn, we're just looking into that road, looking for pedestrians, looking for parked vehicles, yeah? I
found my problem, because when they're going nice and slow, like around all these sort of streets, not so bad. It's when you get to the busier roads and everything's happening a lot quicker. Especially that first one, because where he wasn't looking in the mirror, I didn't have time to make him slow down, but I should have said cover the brake first, shouldn't I?
Yeah. Cover the brake is a really good control element, and he would have learned that on moving up and stopping. Yeah? But you have to bear in mind, cover the brake doesn't mean he's going to use it. Yeah?
All right.
Because you're not asking him to use it, are you?
No.
Cover the brake is just getting his foot there in the right place, yeah?
Yeah.
It's up to you then to tell him how much he needs to use it, yeah? Break the thickness of a pound coin, another thickness of a pound coin, another thickness of a pound coin. If he breaks too much, come off half the thickness of a pound coin or whatever, yeah? We want to get the speed down to...
So it's all right to reduce the speed first before you do the mirror signal and position then, is it? I know it's not necessarily that all, but sometimes when they're coming on quick. So I was trying to do it in order, see, and that's where, and I couldn't because it was... Well, I did try to do it in order, but it all went...
Were you talking about identification of the subject? Were you?
No, because this is when we just first pulled out. This is when we first pulled out the test centre, and he turned left onto the high road. And he said we're going to take the next turning on the right, which was the first right turn, which is about 150 feet, 200 feet down the road. And because he was going fast, and I was getting him to check the mirror, and he wasn't doing it, so I was making sure he was doing it. And so, of course, by the time I'd done that, we was on top of the turning. I hadn't told him to signal, and he actually put the signal on, and he pulled round. There was a car coming, but he pulled round in front. But he had plenty of time to go, but he should have waited really. But I didn't have time to tell him to do anything.
Yeah, so
it all went too
obviously
fast.
Obviously if you prioritise, yeah.
Yeah.
If he doesn't do the mirrors on approach and you feel it getting away from you, the main thing is to control the speed.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can always pull him over afterwards and talk to him about the mirrors. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you've got to get him under control first, yeah?
Yeah.
Because the right-hand turn, you've got to get him left to centre.
Yeah.
And you've also got to get in there and explain how do we cross the path of a vehicle, yeah?
Yeah.
You might not get a chance to stop him on the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah? Because you can only hold him there if you're not holding other traffic up, yeah?
Yeah.
So at the first opportunity, make sure he doesn't cross the path of another vehicle, yeah?
Yeah.
You might not get a chance to go into detail straight away if you've got half a dozen cars behind you. But just tell him, no, don't go, yeah? Wait. And then tell him when he can go. And then if you've got somewhere to pull him over. And then you can talk about the walk across, drive across rule, yeah? And it's important not only because the walk across, drive across rule is how you judge it, but he needs to know the why. He mustn't make the car coming towards him slow, stop or swerve, yeah? And the way to do that is use the walk across, drive across rule, yeah? Yes, what we do, we'll have a work on the control, yeah?
Okay, yeah.
And if you can get control, you get the education in. But if you're talking about how to identify, so I'll take you down the road here, and we'll be going past left and right hand turns that we're not taking, yeah?
Yeah.
So what I need to hear from you is, see the gaps in the house there? That's a turning to the right. You can see the giveaway lines as well, yeah?
Yeah.
And if you see one on the left, just keep talking about it. And then as soon as they want the next turning, that's how we're going to take the next on the left. But you've already got them under a bit of control because you're working on identification, yeah?
Yeah.
But if you come in with, we have to identify these, and he's thinking, well, this is phase one, you're going to have to identify, yeah? At phase two, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah? You can ask him how he's identifying, and you can push him to identify, yeah? But at phase one, you can only ask him a question that you can ask a 5-year-old, really, yeah?
Right, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So...
It all makes sense when you're sitting still. But
I think this book is really good, yeah?
Yeah.
It's really £19.99 well spent. It just means you've got to print it out, and you've got to buy a little folder, yeah?
Yeah, plus all these, the consequences.
Yeah, you don't need to worry too much about that. Yeah. Because don't forget, you're only given a brief outline of what we're going to do, yeah? That's all it is. It's just a brief outline, yeah?
You don't use these, do you? After you've passed the part 3, do you have different ones what you use, or do you still use these for lessons?
I find this good. I mean, I don't do normal pupils now. Yeah, apart from 2 that I've got recommended, and I had to take them on really. I mean, I'd use them.
Yeah. Okay.
And then on the right hand turn, it's quite easy. You've got all your bits here about left to centre.
That's good. The one with the little mirror.
Yeah. Obviously, you wouldn't say to him, There's a picture there. That's going to be a reference point. You talk him into position, and then you'd ask him to pick up. You'd ask him where does the centre line cut into the car. That's going to be somewhere along the windscreen. And then you go into the importance of being left to centre and the importance of not being too far to the left. And you can only do this on the live turn if there's nobody behind you. So it's really important you keep an eye on these two mirrors.
Yeah.
And then obviously you've got to pick up a reference point for not cutting the corner, yeah?
Yeah.
And again, it would be important to come in with the reasons why it's important not to cut the corner, yeah? There's no good saying don't cut a corner because Allison is telling you so, yeah? You have to actually come in with the reasons. If you cut the corner and a car comes down the road, he's going to run into the side of it. Yeah. And then as soon as you get a chance, just fill in an extra bit of detail. There will be occasions, Tony, where you will have to cut the corner. Yeah. Because of somebody's dumped a skip on the corner or whatever, yeah? But you'd have to do it with great caution. You'd have to make sure before you commit yourself to the turn, you have a good look down the road. Because if you turn in and you can't get past, you're going to have your back end sticking out into the road, yeah? Yeah. And there you've got the crossing the path. Yeah. Nice and simple. Yeah. If you can walk from there to there without forcing this vehicle to slow, stop or swerve, you can drive it, yeah? If it was phase 2, and you were approaching this, and this green car was coming towards you, if you didn't ask, are you going to go in front of that green car, or are you going to wait for it? I can guarantee you he'll drop it in a second and give it a bit of welly, yeah? Yeah? But if you ask his answer, and he gives you the right answer, all you need to say to him after you're making the turn, and how did you judge that? Yeah. Oh, just walk across, drive across thingy. And why was that important? Oh, I mustn't make that oncoming vehicle stop, slow or swerve. Job done. Yeah. Yeah? Make sense? Yep. Yeah? Yep. So, phase 1 is all about getting the education in, getting the money in the bank, and then prompting. Yeah, because they are looking really, really hard now at you checking what education's taking place, what learning's taking place. Phase 2 is about being as proactive as you can with the Q&A. Yeah. If they approach a phase 2 and he's the wrong side of the white line, it is possible to get them back by saying, steer 5 minutes to me, 10 minutes to you, and then straighten up. There's nobody behind you, stop there. Where does the centre line cut into the car? That's really going to up your score because you've actually sorted the problem out, yeah? Right. Before it's even gone wrong, yeah? So it has gone wrong, but you've got it back and corrected. It wouldn't be a problem if you didn't manage to correct it, but you'd have to sort it out on the next one. So that's being reactive. So so instead of a 6, you're probably going to get a 5 for that, yeah. But we're working that today, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good. So if we stick the books in the back. Yeah. But I'd recommend this. It makes it so easy, yeah. 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 Okay. That looks quite complicated to me.
Yeah, well, I've got used to doing it.
Well, if you're used to it, stick to it, yeah?
Yeah, okay.
Right,
yeah,
so...
We'll have a look at the others, though.
So I'll give you a word picture. Actually, you will need your book for a minute, wouldn't you? You haven't given me a brief yet, yeah? Yeah, so...
I should just stick with my one for now, then, until I've learnt the new one.
Yeah, so I'll give you a word picture. So, we've never met before, which is